Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, Chuempala. Elias Munshya here, coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta. This is TVBAKWEtu. Thank you for joining me on this unusual time. I'm trying to do to come a little bit earlier than our usual time, but our usual programming still continues. Tonight we have a lot of exciting things lined up for you, and so please, even after you've had this. Please stay on for more exciting things that are going to be coming at 21 hours, at 22 hours, and beyond. Okay, but due to some changes in my own personal programming, I felt I needed to be coming slightly earlier, and then do a little bit of some discussions. Now, the thing that is trending, okay, is that we woke up now. There is slightly difference in timing here. So you woke up in Zambia to a headline in the news diggers, and the headline was that a particular gentleman is saying that the UPND has no plan. You know, that was the headline, that the UPND has no plan. Yeah. So that was the headline, and then one of my Facebook cousins, because on Facebook it appears like we all have some cousins. By cousins, I mean somebody who punches holes in what you're saying, or who you punch holes in what they're saying, kind of. And so one of my Facebook cousins posted the same thing and said, indeed, that the UPND has no plan. That was what was said. And so it was very late here, so I was going to bed, and so I had to respond. The reason why we are responding, the reason why I must respond to these things is because information matters. Information matters. And a conversation matters. A conversation with the people of Zambia. We cannot stop communicating with you, our citizens, our fellow citizens, and say that no, because nomba abantu besubateka chapo atwalaleka, we are going to abandon this. We are not going to do that. And that is the reason why we must continue talking to you. Now, you could say, I need to leave it up to the UPND as a party and the government to communicate. That's a fair criticism. And yes, maybe I need to leave it up to them. I want to leave it up to them. Number one, Shupa, I need to come and answer some of these things. You know what I mean? So I can't wait. I shouldn't wait that the UPND spokesperson is going to talk or the government spokesperson is going to talk. And they're talking indeed. But I must say some things. And that is the reason why when I see some posts that are done, that are trying to communicate something that is not real, it is my duty. It's a little bit of a price to pay in terms of lost billable time and attention, but it is something that is worth it. And the reason is because the people of Zambia are worth it. You are worth it. That's why you deserve our time. You deserve my attention because you do matter, and you do matter a lot. And that's why I had to respond to that on Facebook. Now, the other criticism is why should it be on Facebook? Because these people are communicating their own things on Facebook. So if they're doing it on Facebook, we have to also respond via the same media and try to communicate. So some of you might know exactly what I'm talking about. So it was a post on Facebook, and I responded, and I did it because I really had to. Now, the issue with the financial difficulties that our country, or financial or economic difficulties that our country, our people are facing, that several of our citizens, my own relatives, are facing, is what, in fact, invited us to this struggle in the first place. The reason why I got involved in matters to do with our country was because I was genuinely concerned. I was genuinely concerned for our country. I was genuinely concerned for the direction that the country was taking. I have no regret about doing that. We started getting involved 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and very much so during the campaigns in order to elect the UPND government. We did it. And I personally have no regret whatsoever in taking part there. Now, obviously, there are people responsible for the mess our country found itself in. My fellow citizens, this did not just happen by chance. Zambia's economic collapse was not something that just happened by accident. Zambia's economic collapse was orchestrated deliberately by a particular identifiable group of people. That's common sense. The kind of struggles that our nation was undergoing, the kind of economic difficulties that our country was facing, it was orchestrated by particular individuals and the political party that was ruling at that time. And it is the pain, the economic pain, the lack of economic direction that led all of us together as one country to reject the Patriotic Front. Because the Patriotic Front destroyed Zambia in the years that it was governing. That's why you, the people of Zambia, decided to put it. Now, 6 months later, you could as well say that the struggle has continued. Now, the question that we need to face very, very honestly is, how come? It is how come because The same structure that destroyed this country for the past 10 years was extremely deep, was extremely involving, and it was extremely huge. It destroyed our country. And to dig ourselves out of this struggle, out of this economic collapse, Zambia had no economy for the past 10 years. Nothing. Now, the little economy that we had was stolen. It went into the pockets of very few individuals. Very few individuals. It did not come to the people of Zambia. Our country is rich. We have copper, we have gold, we have land, agriculture, we have tourism, we have art. We have so much potential. We have people, youths, old people, as well as the youth. We have all this. How come for the past 10 years, we could see what was going on? That's exactly what the issue is. Now, some of you are saying that suddenly, because we changed government, therefore everything has reset. There is nothing like resetting in an economy. You don't begin at zero. You begin where the former ruling party left you at. If they left zero, you begin at zero. If they left you in a deep hole, you're going to begin from a deep hole and then build yourself up. Now, we are willing here on TVBAKWETU to have a conversation with our fellow citizens about their struggles, about what they are going through. I do frequent Zambia myself. As a matter of fact, I'm barely 4 days in Canada right now. And I have felt the pain of various people. It's true. Now, we are willing to have that conversation with our fellow citizens. That's one thing. But I am not willing to have a conversation with the thieves that are responsible for the mess that we find ourselves in. That we are not going to have. The reason is, look, these thieves took 10 years to destroy the country. Within 6 months, they're saying that why isn't the country back to where it's supposed to be? It can't take 6 months to fix the mess that took 10 years to destroy. Never. Now, we are going to talk to our citizens, to the pain of our citizens, the pain. And who is responsible for the pain? The people that were governing this country for the past 10 years, for the past 7 years. And we are not going to say that we are going to apportion. Where are we going to apportion the blame? On a person who has governed for 6 months? No. Are our citizens justified in what they are saying? Some of them are saying, of course. That's why they removed the former ruling party. But the former ruling party has regrouped. It has said that it is rebranding now. We need to be very clear here. When it says it's rebranding, it has nothing to do with it addressing the fundamental theft and corruption that it took us through. No. The rebranding has everything to do with itself coming back into power to continue with the theft and with the corruption. That is what it is. Now, I can as well just relax. You know, I'm in Canada. I can just as well relax and forget it and say it's over. I can't betray this revolution. I can't leave it halfway. It would be terrible. It means then that every sacrifice has been wasted. To help in a small way to explain to our people about our struggles, and then abandon this revolution midway and say it's okay, let them resolve themselves, and then suffer the consequence of the Patriotic Front returning back to power in order to come and steal some more. That we are not going to do. That's why when we are rebutting, it is because Zambia matters and Zambians deserve the truth. the truth, absolute truth, and nothing but the truth. And we are going to have this truth. So I do understand. Some of our people might say, hey, we were promised heaven. Where is heaven? Heaven is coming. We were promised healing. Where is healing? Healing is coming. But the mess was huge. And in 6 months, we can see signs that we are a nation again. And that's something positive. Indeed, citizens are going to have this conversation, but the Patriotic Front, they by Chindiki. Jerome.
Munshya, first, how are you, Munshya?
I'm doing good. I'm very well. I made tea with Zambia sugar, with teaspoon. I just missed someone. So I have a taste of Zambia right now.
Yeah, Munshya, no, what you are saying is very true. First, to start with, I was very shocked to see such kind of a message coming from Bashino No. I was shocked to say, like, Lidi, Bashino No, is this serious? I just said, no, this should not be the situation. It cannot tell us that the UPND have no plan. If we didn't have the plan, the people of Zambia would have not voted for us. We shared our plan and our vision for the country, and the people of Zambia said, yes, this is what we want. But that thing should not happen within 24 hours. But it's not possible to do things within 24 hours or to do things within 6 months. It's not possible. But we are in the right track. Today I was talking to one of the opposition leaders. I was telling them to say, you see, the way you are offering the checks and balances, I think you need to improve as opposition, or else you are not proving to be relevant to the democratic processes of this country. You are failing to offer the proper checks and balances to this country. As a result, we are seen to be more emotional in doing things as compared to they're supposed to be happening. Today, I was following a program at 5FM where I heard Antonio Mwanza was saying all those kind of things, but he's forgetting one thing. PF was in office for 10 years. As we have been in office for 6 months. And when you multiply 6 months by 30 days, it is just 180 days we have been in office. How can we do all the things in 180? They said we have no plan. We told them we are going to recruit 11,200 health workers. Is that itself not is that not a plan on itself? We need to find ways and means of recruiting those people. We need to put all the fundamentals in place. We have 30,000 teachers whom we are going to employ. You see, not only that, we are saying we are also promoting other people. Is that not a plan? I think PF has lost its, you see, I think the people are criticizing the government. They have just lost the direction of criticizing the ruling party. I think they need to improve on a serious note. And let's be logical as we are trying.
Sorry, I think I've lost Jeremy. Now that is one of the issues that we are faced with. Our involvement in the revolution was not to play, because kuliko ka impression akakona kalimo twale angala fie, angale after twangala chapwa, and we leave room kuli aba bantu to continue confusing. No. 6 months down the line, we can see light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to be a lot of hard work. And so we, as citizens, let us continue supporting. That's what we can do, to continue supporting, to continue working hard. And remember, the biggest issue in our country is corruption. Corruption is the number one determinant of whether our country goes forward or not. The major problem with the Patriotic Front, and I think they need to understand this, it was the rampant corruption and theft that they were doing, stealing from you as the people of Zambia in broad daylight. That was the major problem. Let's take the roads. You see, what corruption does is this. You make a road. You spend 300 million. 200 million goes to the thieves. They only spend 100 million on a road. They buy cheap. They buy substandard materials. And they call it a road. It looks like a road. In fact, it even functions like a road for a few months. But the cost that substandard road has on the economy is huge. First of all, 200 million has been stolen. Where has it gone? It has gone into the coffers of a few. And now, when you are siphoning resources from the nation in order to take it to the few, that spells economic collapse for any country. That is why we are in the mess where we are in. Let's take the Ndola Lusaka road. Contractors have been on that road. Today, it is a death trap. Ndola Lusaka. It's a death trap. Now, we ask ourselves, how did we get there? Somebody took money out of that project, such that the stretch and the quality of the road is substandard. It kills our citizens. When they tried to bid for that road, another bidding, remember. So within the past 10 years, they worked on the road. Another 5 years, they worked on the road. And then they also wanted to bid another one. Guess what it was? $1.2 billion. Much of it, half of it at least, if not 3/4 of it, was going to be stolen. That is how an economy gets destroyed. Again, where does that money go? It goes into the pockets of few people. It means you're going to affect your economy. You're not going to grow. Now, assuming that you indeed invest in $1.2 billion worth of road network in Zambia, you're going to have top-notch roads. You're going to transport your goods on time. You're going to save valuable lives. You're going to save your vehicles from unnecessary mechanical failure. Your nation is going to build itself up and continue. That is the problem that we had. The corruption issue, the theft issue, is being taken care of. We don't see it, at least, in the current government. And we are very grateful. And we hope that this government will continue fighting corruption so that we pay the right price for the right projects. And the money stays among the people so that these people can do what can help build our economy, instead of siphoning money into the pockets of few. How many vehicles can one drive? How many houses can one live in? How much money do you need to stash off from the resources of the country. That is the kind of struggle we were experiencing. The Patriotic Front cannot come back and tell us that it had the interest of the Zambian people at heart. It never did. If we are going to have this conversation, let us have it with our citizens. I think we are open, and let's have that. But we're not going to have it with the Patriotic Front. We were not joking when we took them out of office. Now, that is the example I gave about roads. Let's look at projects such as hospitals. I was in Milenge. Bantu, naria ku Milenge. Naisanga na hospital bakola. They borrowed a lot of money and built the structure, substandard structure. Kumirenge. I have pictures. I'm going to post some of the pictures. It looks good. No penta vach penta. Where did the change go? The people of Zambia, we are willing to sacrifice as long as we see that everybody is sacrificing equally. That is what the issue is. Now, they are all over radio, all over television, and this Patriotic Front, they've come back. They've stashed off a lot of money. They have come back to confuse you, our citizens. That's why we have a duty to respond. Because if we don't, they might like today's headlines that the UPND has no plan. In 6 months, look at everything that Jerome was outlining here. In 6 months, in 180 days. And today, the Patriotic Front of all people are going to come back and tell you that there is no plan. There is a plan. And my appeal to the, I'm appealing to the good citizens of this great country. The best is yet to come. Zambia is rich. Zambia is wealthy. We have started on a very positive trajectory. Let us keep it that way. I think that is what we need to do. Jerome, are you back?
Yeah, I'm very back, Munshya. Yeah, sorry for that. Let me again make an announcement. I think when I feature on TVBAKWETU, I should be making an announcement. Please, it's me you are seeing on TVBAKWETU. And the phone that you are trying to call me on is the phone that I'm using on TVBAKWETU. So the moment you call me, I'll disappear on TVBAKWETU because you are going to disturb my internet. So, Munshya, I think I have a very big problem in the way the opposition are trying to do things. Today, as we are speaking, Munshya, inflation rate has reduced from 20-something to 14. If what the Minister of Finance and the President and other ministers are doing and not bringing food or something tangible to the people of Zambia, can we have inflation rate reduced from 21 to 14? I know they are talking about the dollar the dollar, the kwacha dollar, and all that. But look again, the dollar kwacha has been maintained for a longer period of time in the same range. It has never yet reached about 20, which we found the dollar on. But people still, they are trying to insult. I think this itself, it will tell you to say, the person who's in State House knows what they are doing. They are trying to show photos or videos to say, look, he said this is an economist. He said the 10 hours, 14 hours, the dollar will reduce. But look, when the president was first elected, didn't you see the dollar, the kwacha gaining power? It gained. But we need to do other fundamentals to sustain the gaining. You see? What other fundamentals? We need to increase on the production. How are we going to increase on the production? Already we have CDF that has been pushed to 25.7 million. That CDF, it is going to encourage a lot of people to form cooperative and people will be involved in different activities that are going to produce income and sustain the dollar in this country. You saw 2 weeks or 2 days or 3 days ago, there was a ban in the way the onions and all that. But look, if we can increase more people and start having access to fund through CTF projects, then we start producing our own tomatoes, our own onions, our own groundnuts, our own Chinese and other things. Are you sure are we going to be exporting these things from other countries? No, we'll just be getting these things and doing these things by ourselves, by producing these things. So the plan is already there. Check again, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, it's also on a daily basis calling young people to form cooperative for them to be empowered. The Ministry of Small Scale and Small Scale and Medium Enterprise, it's also calling on young people to form up this cooperative and involved in different activities. Not only that, the Ministry of Science and Technology is also calling for young people to come up, those who are innovative, to come up with innovations, and they are going to be funded.
I think there's going to be a fundamental difference in the way things were done under the you see, under the Patriotic Front, everything was a mess. And the empowerment that they were talking about was giving money directly to abantu. Like what happened one day with Clement Tembo. Ukumupela helicopter ya ZAF. Elo basa mpela nakasaka kandalama. At go to Momo and distribute it to the people. You see, that was the kind of mindset, and that mindset destroyed our country. Now, there is a very steady leadership in charge, very steady. The steadiness in the sense that they want the economy, the Zambian economy to begin working for the Zambians. That is something very positive. And I hope that we are going to keep it that way. All of you young people, you formed cooperatives, including my own group, Kuchingola. You formed various cooperatives. Begin working, begin bidding for works, begin showing your expertise. Whatever you have to do, continue doing it. I trust the process, and I know that it is going to be fine. The conversation about the kind of hardships you are facing, continue having those conversations with your politicians, with your MPs, with your leaders. Very, very important. But we are not going to sit back and tolerate the Patriotic Front. Imwe ukutumfia ni imwe ba PF eba hibide they are thieves ni bakabwalala eba hibide eba dumbuishe chalo elo nombalero besati yomkwai uyu muntu afirwa imwe mwali dumbuishe chalo mwaona ule chalo mwaiba you did all sorts of things for the past 10 years. Omuntu naisa mukubomberapo chaba kona kali mu chilonda so chiji abantu bale kubomberapo pa chilonda limo kulaba kona kali mu pambo kunengena pambo kukalipa ale bomberapo. That is exactly what is happening. We are going to trust this process, and it's going to be all right. But if Chatwena, the teacher, is going to be recruited, I think they'll be recruited in time and on time. Civil service, you know, kutuwalanda at maironka mingisha, but you need to have tuma numbers. Kashinga tuma numbers turianga nitunshi. It takes time. Freedom purchasing statutory instruments, in some cases legislation, so that you can have utuma provision to pay people. Kanshi kwa fiati mtalameshi mwaingira no kanshi kula bokutandika obumo mofule bwachitika bunga bwachitika bakabwera nokumingisha enchito ichikankala ko chitashani kuba fe patient okulolela enchito kushena ulupia. It's already there, the money is already there. Ni bureaucracy fe yashupa ngafira fine fe kanshi pako fe mpange bureaucracy bwino mwatandika bwino 180 days is not enough. So Lolele, the teaching service really appointed, and jobs are going to come. If you are HTKanda PF, then Valesa, Mabalanda Mukengin Chitomairo, Babe Pavantu, First of all, they are broke.
Baletumina amafoni bamusha
elo bayingishako babululu shabo nawo bene babululu shabo babe birempia nobody pira. That is the kind of mayhem that used to happen.
Bamusha baletumina amafoni. Oh, what's your name? Elias Munshya isa kuno kaiye one bench talk umuntu ayo nkwambe nchito 6 months staff olapo. Okay, ba PF badi ni bakerenka ba PF zone.
Yeah, and so we know the money is there. It's just the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is a little bit complex, and it's catching up. Very soon, you're going to get your jobs. But Chief praised him leader, and the reason why the patriotic, but never patriotic for Tabante Mayo. Jerome, Arabali empata. PF, yeah. And if they had a way, you know, of dialing back the time, I think they were going to take me a little bit seriously, but they never did. But I was joking. PF, you would never took me seriously. If you take if you would take a chalo, you never. You see, number Mwamba Kokulamja praise chief praise team leader or something like that. Okay. But this is coming from a certain background. What is the background? In 2015, 2016, 2017, Balungu tabare teka wino yo a patriotic front ubungo bwachila. Elo tebungo wako watu waivako panono. You steal everything. Eh? Mwaya chita commissioner tina mkula hospital ko mirenge. Standard materials impiasha ya kwisa vadi yeba. Ichintu tabapuire no kupo bueno bapanga fecha madongo bapenta napo bachita na hospital Milenge District Hospital. You go there, you are like they claim to have spent so much money shovaire Kongola kuma Chinese. Where did the money go? That is the cost of corruption. It destroys the fabric of a country. And that is why we are experiencing the kind of problems we are experiencing. Nomba muneno, amba kokukula. Abo. Eba number one, kumedia. Icha kukonko lubilo. No, biochi konke olubilo.
Yeah, I think Munshya, I think people should get used to that. It's not about being a praise singer. It's about saying the truth. You see, for me, that's what I've seen. You have been helping the country to know the truth, not no propaganda. You just put them where they belong. They belong where in the pit latrine, and you place them there. You see.
How citizens can have a say, but PF have no say. I'm sorry. Okay, they could have a say if they return the loot. Everything they stole from the people of Zambia, let them return it. Then we can have a conversation. So there are several comments here. Trust, and the saddest thing is that the same people who destroy this country are the ones who are saying we have failed. Baona ule chalo. Elo chile baona ule chalo lo babuera tiyo mkwa ini mwa ona ula. Yo. Bapombo.
Eya mkwae mwabombe mkwae.
Idia shirio na mfwa.
Hawe natu mfatwa mfwa kwena. Kuti ya kukarisha no mutima.
Bapombo. The Ndola Lusaka Road. It's terrible. It is terrible.
it's pathetic, Munshya, and I cannot even. I would not imagine that we are going back to such a situation, a very terrible situation. General Munshya.
We tulivyo bwino Bakwena, tulivyo bwino.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. Okay, good evening. And I thought we know to attach info. Munshya, you know, I had this opportunity when the president came to Italy. We went to welcome him in Rome, and we have an occasion, and I have an opportunity. I had an opportunity to speak to the president himself, and there is one thing which amazed me of this gentleman. He is a person with good intentions. He has the country at heart. When he reached Rome, one thing that he said, when he came to Italy, he has never been to Rome before. He went to Milan because, you know, being a businessman, and Milan here in Italy is a business capital. Now, Rome is not a business capital, but it's a touristic capital. And it's a harbor of history and art, a lot of art and history. So when the president came to Rome, one thing that amazed me is the comment that he said. I've never been to Rome. I am amazed. He said, beautiful roads, ancient roads, Munshya. Roads here, Rome, Munshya, to Alaland, that they were built more than 2,000 years ago, Munshya. More than 2,000 years ago, these roads, they are still existing. And not only the roads, but also the buildings. Munshya, I'm inviting you officially. It is incredible.
And so that is why, Bapombo, if you see, that is why corruption is a huge problem. Because when you are building a road, in Milenge, we used tuta. The same Chinese. The same Chinese are tuta. Tuta ukutulaika. In some parts, it's happening now. After how many years? Mukuku Bridge. After 70s.
Yes, that's the thing.
80s. But for much of the huge stretch of the road, it's still intact.
So this is what I would like to say. This is
what
This is what I would like to say, Munshya. This is what I would like to say. There are people who continues to lie to the Zambians. You know, telling lies. We can say, "What? Okay, I know you know no, not every time. You should not continue. These guys are continuing to teasing the country, teasing the nation. Roads, Chilema is in power only for 6 months, and they are trying to push him pressure to say you are going to solve the problems of the country, the problems which has been done for so many years ago. Now, allow me to say this. Our president was amazed of how these guys can keep the roads, which were done in the time of the Roman Empire. So the question he was asking is this: how do they manage? How do you manage to keep these roads intact? Not only the roads, Munshya, even the bridges, even the structures intact. How? Now we come to Zambia. Now our bantu I'm so much scandalized. I never thought such a thing would have happened. I come from Kitwe. Due Carriage Way was done at a certain time by Munshya. Kuliwa Kojifa. Kojifa was an industry and a company which did the Due Carriage Way from Undola from Quito to Ndola. That place there still keeps at least car decency. Ngatwasa from Mapando kia Pakapiri, it's a disaster. From Kabwe to Lusaka, another disaster. So, accusing the president
and Wapombo, that is the same story across all the roads. And so there is a new system in place now, the private-public partnerships, PPs, that they are going to use to try and reduce the cost and do excellent roads. I hope we are going to do a better job. We've got to end here. Thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate. The regular programming starts at 21 hours, then at 22 hours as well. Wapombo?
I'm quiet.
But you can't go without listening to this Uruimbo Ulua Kumushkumwen.
Natumfwe. Mulefwa nshaneko. Mulefwa nshaneko.
Tulefwa kumona mashi.
Alanda shana Munshya. Shaneko.
Areni tumone Don Oscar.
Oh, yeah. Kwa kolelo. Yeah, okay, another channel.
Cool.
Thank you very much. This has been a presentation of TVBAKWETU. Elias Munshya here with our friend Jerome Kanika and Don Oscar. Good night. God bless you. Please join us again in a few hours as we continue with our regular programming. Good night.
Correct.